Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Farhan Zuhry from Group 10. The other member is Laela Nurfadilah, Melissa Suci, Siti Jenab, and Wulan Fitri. We will explain about methodology, and I will do the first presentation. The material outline is Introduction, Basic Principle of Language Learning, Model Lesson, Technique, Language Learning Task, and the last is Conclusion. And now, we enter the first material, Introduction of Methodology. Methodology is a branch of pedagogics dealing with analysis and evaluation of subjects to be taught and of the method of teaching them. And according to one expert, namely Robinson, he mentioned that what's good in the classroom, what students have to do. Okay, the next material is Basic Principle of Language Learning, which will underpin a learning-centered methodology. First is second language learning is a development process. Learners use their existing knowledge to make the new information comprehensible. The second, language learning is an active process. It is not enough for learners just to have the necessary knowledge to make things meaningful. They must also use that knowledge. However, it is important to be clear what we mean by the term active. We must make a distinction between two types of activity: psychomotor activity and language processing activity. Okay, next, the third material is localization of language in brain. In left hemisphere, it is analytic. There is analytic, logic, language, science, and math. And in the right hemisphere, this is creative, holistic thought, intuition, creativity, art, and music. Thank you. The next material will be explained by Laela.
I am Laela Nurfadilah. Before going to the third basic principles of language learning, I would like to explain about the localization of language in brain. Paul Broca specified the location of the language part in the brain, which is at the front part of the left hemisphere, known as Broca's area. This area plays a part of the language process and the ability to communicate and understand. And then, a German neurologist, Karl Wernicke, has discovered another variety of aphasia at the temporal lobe of left hemisphere known as Wernicke's area. This area typically found in the left hemisphere's cerebrum because most humans have a portion of language in their left brain. If broadcast area was combined with Wernicke's area, it becomes language function or literalization. It is the tendency of some neural functions or cognitive processes to be specialized to one side of the brain or the other. Now we are going to the third basic principle of language learning. Language learning is a decision-making process, such as enhanced critical thinking and developmental process of knowledge takes place. The fourth, language learning is not just a matter of linguistic knowledge. Linguistic knowledge and cognitive capacity should be developed together. In the second language, they are grossly out of focus. The second language learning is someone who is conceptually and cognitively mature, but is linguistically an infant. Teaching must respect both levels of learners' state. The fifth, language learning is not the learner's first experience with language. Learners are already competent in communication. They should know what communication is and how it's used. The sixth, learning is an emotional experience. We should create positive emotions. For example, making interest, fun, variety, primary considerations in materials and methodology, rather than just edit extras. The next basic principles of language learning will be continued by Melissa.
My name is Melissa Suci. I want to tell you basic participle of language learning. The first is that language learning is largely incidental. That is, it is done only at certain occasion or time. Language can be learned in many ways, such as reading book, using audiovisual media, and also from conversation. The second is language learning does not have to be always systematic. Students must make their internal system in the brain like memorize. And it is one of the module lesson. The material is hotel management and operation. The audience is economic and management student. And the place in hotel and resort management class. After that, to do the procedure. First, ask students to read a case study. Then to do analysis from the case study. First, divide the class into 5 groups. Second, give on test pad on each group. Third, give one question to each group. The question provided as follows. 1. List the duties of the bell stand in a hotel. 2. Describe procedure in handling various type of guest language. 3. Describe pre-check-in activities. 4. Describe the procedure handling VIP's arrival in a hotel. And the last one is an express guest checkout. Describe the procedure in handling express guest checkout. After that, do the advanced procedure. The first is sharing information, like ask each group to send a representative to present the answer for each of the question. Then ask every student to give comment based on the answer given, and ask why if students think the point present are not enough. The second is prediction. Students should be able to know how front office work in a hotel. Describe what are the procedures in every check-in activities, and think critically. Why do you think so?
Okay, my name is Siti Jenab. I am going to explain about type of techniques. The first is gaps. Second is priority. Third is prediction. Fourth is enjoyment. Fifth is an integrated methodology. Six is coherence. 7 is preparation. 8 is involvement. 9 is creativity. And last is atmosphere. The first technique is gap. Gap is create the domain of thinking in the learning process. There are various of gap. The first is information gap. Second is media gaps. Third is reasoning gaps. Fourth is memory gaps. Fifth is jigsaw gaps. Sixth is opinion gaps, and last is certainty gaps. And now I want to explain about gaps one by one. The first is information gap. The information gap is most teacher will be familiar with this type of activity, and one learner has information and another doesn't has. The second is media gaps. Media gaps is the information is available in one medium and needs to be transferred to another medium. The third is reasoning gaps. Reasoning gaps is working out what the discourse is all in the learner. And fourth is memory gaps. Memory gaps is the learner has received the information about the lesson and the learner repeat to the information about lesson. The fifth is jigsaw gaps. Jigsaw gaps is all the part up there. And the sixth is opinion gaps. Opinion gaps is what is the important thing and what is not the important thing. And the last gaps is certainty gaps. The certainty gaps is what the definitely of thinking of what we know. Okay, for the next technique is variety. Variety in order to get the repetition necessary to help learning, there must be variety can be achieved in first medium. The medium such is text. The second is classroom organization such individual and group. Third is learner groups like presenters. Fourth is exercise, activity, and test. Fifth is skill like listening and reading. And sixth is topic. And seven is focus. The third of technique is predication. Predication is using exciting knowledge of pattern or system to assume or anticipate a novel situation. The fourth is enjoyment. The enjoyment is necessary in order to engage the learner's mind. The fifth is an integrated methodology. The integrated methodology is range scale, increase the range of activity in the classroom. The next is coherent. Coherent is the progress of learning should be clear. And seven is preparation. Preparation is an early planning on what is needed to be taught in the classroom. And last is involvement, is participation of the student in both cognitive and emotional in the lesson.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Wulan Fitri Haryani. I'm from group 10. I would like to explain about language learning tasks in ESP. There are 4 language learning tasks in ESP. The first, role play and simulation. Role play involves the learner taking on a different role and even identity from his or her usual one. And simulations is frequently longer than a role play and allow the student to maintain his or her normal persona. Role of simulations: the first, motivate learner. The second, give opportunities for meaningful practice of the language learned. The third is inject a feeling of realism. The fourth is use as an assessment technique. And the last is encourage creativity. The second text is case studies. Case studies is an intensive analysis of an individual unit and stressing development factors in relation to context. By doing case studies, all language skills are involved. Reading input document, listening and speaking, or discuss and writing the report. The third is project work. The first, group project. The second, mini research project. And the last is literature-based project. And the last is oral presentation. Most common last text type is ESP. Projects such as written report, case studies, and mini research are required to do oral presentation in the end. All the language skills are involved, and communication and professional skills are main focus. The conclusion is identify the learner's needs, create syllabus, and carry out methodologies is not enough to let an ESP program to be successful. Interaction between the teachers and the learners is more important to create a successful ESP program. Enable learners to communicate effectively using the target language by interaction. Enable learners to achieve the course goal and can improve both teachers and learners' performance. Thank you.